Welcome back to Chaos Corner. It's your old buddy, the Guardian of Chaos, Big Daddy, and I tell it like it is. Here for an impromptu show number 16 from the bowels of Chaos Corner. I'll say that to say this. Fans, follow me over on Twitter, and that's at Big Daddy GOC. And the GOC stands for the Guardian of Chaos. Hit my profile link. That will bounce you over to the Guardian of Chaos YouTube channel, which is where we are now. Follow my boys over at the show, and that's at Mario_Chaos. If you're not following them, I don't know what you're doing. They're there to put you over for your product, your content, to make you more successful. Fans, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm a little under the weather. I'm a little pale, sinuses, a little throat, a little cough, a little chest, but I am COVID negative. But I'm down here 10, 12 feet below the surface of the earth in the Chaos Corner bunker, doing the one thing that makes me happy and will make me feel better. And that's bringing my fans, followers, and the IWC Chaos Corner, whether it be Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Parler, Rumble. Go out and follow, and especially Gab. Go out and follow your boy, the Guardian of Chaos. I'm on all those platforms, and if you want your First Amendment, then you'll follow me on those other platforms. I'm not down with the censorship. I'm not down with all the BS and the politics. So I'm here today on an impromptu show, number 16 of Chaos Corner. A little under the weather, but you guys make me feel better. So that's why I'm here. On show number 16, we're going to cover, to begin with briefly, the fallout from Survivor Series and the Undertaker 30th anniversary. We're going to talk a little bit about Monday Night Raw, a little bit about AEW, Impact, MLW, Ring of Honor, but we're going to talk about a lot about the Guardian of Chaos, Big Daddy personally. Memorabilia, DVDs, tapes, you're not going to want to miss it. We're getting ready to bounce over to YouTube. Stay with me. Don't you dare miss it, the GOC. Fans, welcome back. Again, we're here on YouTube. I said it twice. I gave you 2 welcome backs. Hopefully, we will not be interrupted. We know about the Wi-Fi and all the internet and everything down here in Chaos Corner. For several shows, we were interrupted. We had a part 1 and a part 2. So we are on show number 16, impromptu. Let's hope it's, we'll say part 1 just in case, but let's just hope we could stay here for the full show without any technical difficulties. Again, we are in Chaos Corner below the surface of the earth. I'm a little under the weather, fans, as I said, but you guys make me feel better in the IWC, so that's why I'm here. You see, I got the music cranking. We're going to cover a lot of different things here today on show number 16. As I said, very impromptu because I wasn't feeling good, so I wanted to pick myself up. And this is what the IWC community and what you fans and followers and fellow content creators, this is what you do for me. And that's why I give back what I do for you. Solar power down here. You see, we're having a heck of a time. Show number 16. I'll get through this. I'll feel better. And I just want to say this, and I said it on Sunday for show 15, live to tape, same day coverage. From the bottom of my heart, I want to wish everybody happy Thanksgiving in these trying times in 2020 and all the political BS and all the social injustice BS and everything else that has come with it and the divisiveness in this country and in this world. I just want to say, let's all be happy and thankful for what really counts, what's really important, and that is your family and the people in your inner circle and the people that you can trust. And I know in this day and age, it's very hard to trust anybody. So if I could start off here on show number 16, I just want to say that I'm thankful for all of you. And be thankful for all those around you. Let's all take one day at a time. Be positive, uplifting. Be the best person that you can be. But don't let anybody disrespect you. I'll tell you that. That's for damn sure. Be an independent thinker. Be proud to be who you are. I say this on every episode here on Chaos Corner. I said on all social media platforms I was on and on everybody else that I've been on before here. You know that my world and the Guardian of Chaos and the podcast and the show and everything that I'm doing is changing every day. A lot of changes in the world, a lot of changes in my life. My roles with Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling have been limited and are on hiatus. I love Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling. That's my family. Those are my friends. I'm in the Hall of Fame. They will always be there for me. That will always be home, and that will always be my brothers and my family. And I can't thank the group at PAPW and especially the Paradise 4 more than enough from the bottom of my heart. But my roles have changed there due to scheduling, due to scheduling conflicts, due to the pandemic, due to what's going on in the world today, and of course my own personal opinions, beliefs, and creative control that has certainly changed with different people and different products and companies that I've worked with. So my role at Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling is on hiatus. I'll always be there to be a supporter and put my brothers over. You know that. So I wanted to address that first. And I will be around once we get out of the pandemic to support the shows and be there for my brothers, as you all well know. The North American Wrestling Alliance and the Godfather Tony Capone, I felt like I had to address all these issues with the people I'm involved with and my connections and brothers and friends and people in the community and coworkers and associates of the IWC and the wrestling world in general. Longtime associate, longtime friend, longtime brother, the Godfather, in his company for years and years, the active NAWA commissioner that took over for the legendary Bruno Sammartino. Now we know the NAWA was coming back strong next month for Jingle Brawl 2020, December 19th. And so my position also with the NAWA, as with PAPW, is also on hiatus, also on the back burner, creative control, differences of opinions, contracts, and the biggest thing is scheduling and conflicts and the pandemic and different things. No heat. No personal heat with PAPW, NAWA, Dino Costa, Patrick Ryan, any of the stuff that I'm going to continue to address. I don't burn bridges. I'm professional. I keep it that way. And that's why this episode, show number 16, is not going to be about mainly the big time. It's going to be about my personal circle, along with mixture. This will be a show and a podcast different than any other you've seen me on or heard me on. So to continue to address those personal issues, the NAWA, again, big part of it. I support it. I'm down with it. Buy it on Fight TV. Go out to the Daytona Beach Center on December 19th. It's going to be for Jingle Brawl 2020. It's going to be an unbelievable event and what Tony Capone's doing for the NAWA leading into 2021. But I'm just stating the facts. Remember, I tell it like it is and where things are going. The business is very funny. It's very political. There's a lot of promises that people make. There's a lot of conflicts and schedules, and then throw in the pandemic, and things go whirly-bird round and round and round. And a lot of people do this, but not a lot of people come through with this. And it's not a personal shot at anyone. I'm just telling the truth because this is what I do. I'll say it to your face. I'll say it to you on your phone. I'll say it to you in an email, a text message, on video, wherever you want me to say it to you, because I'm good and I'm positive and I'm down with everyone. I'm just explaining because I've gotten so many emails and messages about my career, where I'm going to be, who I'm going to be working for, who I'm promoting, and where my career is going at this stage of my life. And of course, I promote and put everybody over. And if I don't, the boys over at the show do. That's what I've done my whole career. It was never about me. I put other people over. That's what it's about. And in return, as you're putting other people over, it just naturally happens that you get put over. So I don't ever worry about that kind of stuff. It's never been about me. But you also want to be respected. And I've said it before, affinity is no substitute for respect. And in order to get respect, you have to start with respecting yourself. And once you do that, you open up other people's minds to respecting you. So that's where I stand with all that. And then, so again, PAPW, we discussed. NAWA, currently what's going on. I have not gotten a contract. I've not received anything in the mail. So due to scheduling conflicts and different things and shows and podcasts, all that stuff has been put on hold and is on hiatus, and that's okay. And then let's address the next subject, which I did on show 15, and that would be Dino Costa, a.k.a. Patrick Ryan, that he's known now. Had a great run on his show all the way back to Sirius XM when I hooked up with Dino, and then out to St. Louis and all points in between, Wyoming, New York City, and now on the internet for the Patrick Dino Ryan show. It was great to me. Had a great year on Chaos Corner. Met a lot of good people. Dino gave me a great opportunity. But again, That's also put on hiatus. He has a different platform, different information, not really into the wrestling world and the stuff that I'm doing, but I'll be forever grateful, and hopefully someday I can get back on the Patrick Dino Costa Ryan show for Chaos Corner. But now that's put on the back burner. That's on hiatus, and I see that as soon as, you know how the business is, entertain this, that, it's all good. I jumped off, and then the Godfather jumped in. And the funny thing is, no one. Did I get the heads up? Did I get the heads up from anybody? Did I get the heads up from people in the past, whether it be Mario, PAPW, the podcast, the Mario Chaos show, Dino Costa, Patrick Ryan, the NAWA, the Godfather? Did I get the heads up about any of this? The courtesy call, the benefit of the doubt? No. And that's okay. Nobody owes me anything. Just like I don't fucking owe anybody else anything. I apologize for the F-bomb. It's my first swear in episodes. But just different stuff that people wanted me to address and to put out there. Because, again, I'm good with everybody. No heat with anybody. I love everybody. I hope to get back and work for everybody, whether it be Paradise, Alley Pro Wrestling, North American Wrestling Alliance, the Patrick Ryan Show, all those different things that I was negotiations with Sinclair Broadcasting Group. And, yes, I just threw it out there. No one knew about it. I kept it to myself. Reality TV, all the different things in the works. So I just want to keep it real, keep it out there, put out the honest information. And again, no heat. I don't kayfabe people. I don't put people on the back burner. I'm a man of my word. When I give you my word, or I say a promise, or try to keep a promise, I follow through on it. And in this business, in the entertainment business, sports, pro wrestling, sports entertainment, a lot of people aren't men of their word. They say something, then they don't do it. They do something, then they don't say it. You find out last minute. The communication is terrible. It's like that in the WWE too. It's the same concept all the way down. But again, no incident in particular, no personal issues, no heat. Everybody that knows who I'm talking about and knows what it is up here, you know. And you know that I don't play games. When I say something, I do it. Whether it affects somebody's life, doesn't affect somebody's life, it doesn't really matter. Okay, because your opinions don't always matter to my opinions and what I have to say. I go by what I believe. And what you believe or your fallout or your own self-awareness or anything like that, not my problem. How's that? But again, you know me as the guardian of chaos, because now I'll get emails and texts and phone calls. Who was that directed at? What was that all about? Who are you sending a message to? Nobody. I'm not sending a message to nobody. I'm telling it like it is. I'm laying it down there like it is. There's no heat. There's no problems. This is just all business. We all know not to mix friendship and business and relationships and business, especially the pro wrestling business. We know all that. So we know that, hey, it's the business. I don't take it personal. So it's all good. I know it's a little confusion here. I'm starting off on show number 16, but again, the people that know, and this is the bottom line, is here to feel better, a little under the weather. Show number 16, we're 14 minutes in, and I went off on just personal things that I wanted to address. And again, if you go to certain websites and things and people that I was involved with, you see all of a sudden now there's no mention. And you know, one of the guys that I respected on, who was the biggest platform all the way to Sirius XM, it's like the Guardian of Chaos was never on there. So that's okay. I'm okay with that. Thing off the website, the web page, the whole 9 yards. No heads up that your boy that you're supposed to, two guys you're supposed to be working for or working with, promoting each other, and then they get together like this, and then you don't even get enough respect for the heads ups. And I think that's fucking bullshit. And again, I swore. I get it. No cussing. It's not professional. Who's watching anyway? But I know. So does everybody get it? Now that we're coming up on exactly 15 minutes, I spent 15 minutes on what I wanted to say. And for all those out there that are wondering if you watch, don't watch, or wondering what it's about, those, no. Let's get on to bigger and better things. I'm going to crank up the solar I have to do this. I haven't done it in a couple episodes. I want to get a little music. Show number 16, live to tape, same day coverage, a lot of personal issues, a lot of personal stuff. We're making this episode mainly about the Guardian of Chaos Big Daddy because I tell it like it is. I'll say that to say this. Let's get some music. Fans, this will save your life someday. I did this on the first few episodes, Smart Gear. And down here, I have to have stuff like this. I always tell you fans that. Stand by. Take a little break. Get yourself something to drink, a nice beverage, maybe a little snack. Get ready for AEW Dark tonight, Impact, tomorrow night's Dynamite, Wednesday Night Wars, NXT, just coming off a Survivor Series, Undertaker. We're going to talk a little bit about this once I crank it up. I know you don't think I'm a madman, right? This is it. Don't you dare miss it. All right, let's see what we got here. While I'm here, let me give a big shout out. I don't want to be distracted. To my good buddy, Mr. Hempel Stillskin, over at sweetheal.com. If you're not taking CBD to help with inflammation and pain and wellness and just overall healthiness in your life with CBD products, then I don't know what you're doing. You're really making a big mistake. It's the wave of the future for athletes and for regular people, older people, even for your pets. If you're not using Sweet Heal and CBD, I don't know what you're doing. Follow my boy, Mr. Hempel Stillskin, one hell of a name, Mr. Hempel Stillskin, over at Sweet Heal CBD, and of course, sweetheal.com. That's right, Sweet Heal CBD, sweetheal.com for all your needs right here in the Constitution State, Connecticut-owned, Connecticut-grown, legally licensed. Small entrepreneurs, support your small businesses. Sweetheal.com. CBD, Mr. Hempel Stillskin. Doesn't get better than that. Let's see what we have here on the ham radio solar powered smart gear. I guess regular radio. Storm alert. A lot of stuff here. Let's change the channel here on Chaos Corner. So again, fans, sweetheal.com, CBD, Mr. Hempel Stillskin. Again, if I go a day with, if I go a day without not using it, I don't feel right. I use it on the elbows, the shoulders, the lower back, the hips. I mean, you could take the tinctures to help you sleep. They even have them for your pets, all legally licensed, locally owned. It doesn't get any better than that. So at 17 minutes in here, show number 16, I got the personal stuff out of the way. Again, nobody's hurt feelings, no harm, no foul. Take it how you want it. I'm speaking my heart. I got no heat, or I have no heat with anybody. And if you end up having heat with me or something like that, or hurt feelings, that's on you, not my problem. I'm fair with everyone. I say it like it is. I tell it like it is. And I won't be disrespected or put on the back burner. Be a man of your word. Say what you do what you say. Because you know where I come from, and that's how I am. Otherwise, it's because I'm okay with all that. I've always been okay. So just remember that. And again, I wanted to get it off my chest to feel better. I'm a little under the weather, so take it for what it's worth. Coming out of the Survivor Series, again, empty arena, COVID pandemic, the Thunderdome, the 34th edition of the Survivor Series, 30 years with The Undertaker. They brought out all the stars, everyone from Rikishi to Ric Flair to the Big Show. There were so many stars, it was unbelievable. Some people that I noticed their absence, even Vince McMahon showed up, and a lot of people say he looks terrible. Hey, listen, the guy's in his middle 70s. He's in great shape. I think Vince looks pretty damn good. Give the guy some credit. But the Undertaker tribute, no live crowd. It's disappointing. I don't believe this will be his last appearance or last match, but you never know. The Boneyard match with AJ Styles was a great way to go out, but we'll see what happens. It was a nice tribute. He came out, he gave a speech. The introduction was nice with all the lights and everything. So it was a good tribute to The Undertaker, 30th year. But it's missing something, as is 2020, as is pro wrestling, as is the world, as we all are with the social justice bullshit that's going on, and the election bullshit that's going on, and the COVID pandemic and the legality, and how real it is, but the numbers are skewed and what's going on, and the public's in fear, and it's so divisive. It's really affected everything, but pro wrestling has forged on and tried to go through with the pandemic, whether it be WWE, AEW, now Impact for the last bunch of months, and MLW's restarting, and other groups are coming back. So give the professional wrestling business a lot of industry, and everybody lighten up on McMahon a little bit. I get the whole Zelina Vega stuff and all the different unions and contracts and what he does to the talent, and I agree with that point, but Vince himself as a genius has done a lot for the business, obviously, and the boys, but I thought he handled Survivor Series and The Undertaker's departure, so to speak, if you will, was pretty good. They made it simple. The stars were there. I didn't get a lot of it calling them all out, from the Godfather and the people that I've mentioned, the original Godfather from the WWE. Let's not get confused here. The real star. And so you get them all in the ring with all the different guys, and then Undertaker comes out, and then they're all gone. So it was okay. It was acceptable for what it was, but you could tell just the big difference in the world and what's going on. But I'll take the positive out of that, and it was decent for what it was for The Undertaker. And again, he's been around my whole adult life, and then the hologram to Paul Bearer, which was cool, but I listened to other people and podcasters and people in this business, and granted, they're 15, 20, 25 years younger than I am. I am the OG of the podcast world and what's going on here. Let's be honest. Talk about Vince Russo, Bischoff, Schiavone, Pritchard, Conrad Thompson. There's nobody like the Guardian of Chaos, Big Daddy. I am the OG of the podcast world. Unique one man. I march to my own drum. Not Dino Costa's, Patrick Ryan's, Mario Mancini's, Paradise Alley, Tony Capone, North American Wrestling Alliance, Sinclair Broadcast. I march to my own fucking beat. So what they did in the WWE, I do like what they did as far as The Undertaker. It wasn't in front of a live crowd. But let's get on to coverage. And again, no notes today, because I said I'm a little under the weather. I had a few things personally on my mind and the way we were going to do this. So I thought that was pretty good that way. I was even in the Thunderdome for a little bit last night. Yeah, I'm a little bit of a mark II, but just to get the experience and to be history in the making. I want to thank my boy, Enforcer Dave, Big D, if you will, always hooking me up with the Thunderdome. Thank you, Enforcer. My buddy Big D in the Special Olympics. I want to salute you, sir, for always being there for the Guardian of Chaos, Big Daddy. Also, McIntyre and Roman Reigns. Let's face it, Survivor Series was for nothing. It was basically about The Undertaker, which I appreciate. And that part, I'll give it a B+, a B. Can't give it an A without the crowd and the pandemic and everything that's going on. But I will say Survivor Series was for nothing after that. All these titles versus titles, a U.S. title with Lashley against the IC title, Sami Zayn, Asuka against Sasha for the Raw and SmackDown Ladies title, McIntyre against Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, if you will, for the Universal and the WWE titles. It all meant nothing. It was all for nothing. This is not your traditional Survivor Series. I'll give you credit. Raw and SmackDown, the Team Survivor Series challenges were okay. Raw swept, I believe, 4-0, 5-0, something like that in the matches. The whole brand split and brand versus brand. I'm not crazy about it. It's smart to have 2 and 3 different brands. McMahon's a genius. But the show just didn't go over for me. Don't get me wrong. I'll give it a 6 out of 10, maybe 5 out of 10. I'm a tough critic. It wasn't bad. McIntyre and Roman was a great match. A very solid match. Asuka and Sasha, a very solid match. The Survivor Series matches were entertaining, but it's not the traditional. I missed the tag teams. I covered it on same-day coverage on Sunday on show number 15 about the history we ran over on Survivor Series. Now go back and watch episode 15, show number 15 on Chaos Corner on my YouTube channel, and see what I was talking about, because we ran down the Survivor Series along with AEW Dynamite. Now, I haven't gotten a lot of views on that. We're still growing and catching on, but that's okay. I don't give a damn who's watching. If I'm watching, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, count the boy, the 8 people down here with me, I don't care if that's all who's watching. I really don't. So, with that being said, go back and check out show number 15. You'll see that I ran over the Survivor Series, and then I was on PWZ, Pro Wrestle Zone, with the Professor Rick Del Santo. We ran through the Survivor Series along with a smorgasbord of things. So, overall, and just it's just my opinion, I didn't think Survivor Series was horrible. I didn't think it was great. It's certainly not tradition. It served a purpose. It was a nice distraction. Give all the boys and the girls credit. You aren't going to clap? All right. But either way, it really was for nothing. And then the lead into the Fallout show last night, which I didn't review the whole thing. I had other things going on, but nothing really came out of the Survivor Series and Monday Night Raw, fans. It's status quo. It was all for nothing, so I just wanted to throw that out. We're 25 minutes in. I'm not going to cover any AEW. I want to get into some personal things here, stuff that we were covering on show number 14. We never got a full chance to get into all the DVDs that I wanted to talk about. I did cover some of them, so bear with me if you're interested. Listen, if you don't want to hear the personal stuff, you just want to talk about WWE, Ring of Honor, MLW, AEW, then you can change the channel, or I appreciate you being here right now. I'm a little ornery and cantankerous because I'm under the weather. I apologize. I get it. Different things that I think I showed you. We already talked about the movie. Go out and get it, fans. It's probably $5 now. Six Figures. My movie debut. I play a bouncer at a strip club. Again, you're not going to want to miss that. Six Figures. You can get it on Amazon. Or you can get it on all the different movie things. Stealing it was easy. Keeping it is the hard part. I covered this, I believe, on show number 14. I play Murphy's Bouncer. It's a film by Brandon David, was the director. Xenon Pictures in Santa Monica, California. Rated R, basically rated X. Go out and check it out. We talked about that. Okay. Different things that I talked about here on shows and DVDs that I have here through different groups, whether it be Northeast, Smart Mark Wrestling, WWA, NAWA. 2 nights, 2 events with guys like Christian, Abyss, Samoa Joe, the late Juan Xavier, Jay Lethal, Christian Cage. These are different shows that I believe we broke down. Here is another one that I would like you to go out there and get. You can see the names on the front. Jay Lethal, Juan Xavier, Samoa Joe, Christian Cage for the NWA World Tag Team title. This was in 2007, fans. 2007. Now, if you go to the back, here was the lineup card. I'll run it down for you fans here to get onto some personal chaos moments. Here on show number 16, live to tape, same day coverage, impromptu. This is what we're going to continue to do, fans. And I appreciate everyone being here. And happy Thanksgiving to all. On this card this night, April 2007, I was very proud to be, again, I will continue to address this and talk about this like I do about the Bully Ray comment. Chains. This is what we're wrapped up in life, in this country right now, and this represents the guardian of chaos's life. Okay? People want to talk about slavery. They want to talk about immigration. They want to talk about without papers, people coming over here, all the different things. We're all Americans. So I'll do me, you do you. On this card this night, April 2007. Not that long ago, but long enough to where I'm an OG. This was near the end of my run. Jason Blade took on Brian Anthony, King Brian Anthony. Joey Mercury and Romeo Rosselli with Talia Madison, a.k.a. Velvet Sky, against The Now, which we know is Vic Delicious and Hale Collins. Michael Sane, the maniac monster Michael Sane, with yours truly, the GOC Big Daddy, against Frankie Arion. For the NWA heavyweight title, tables, ladders, and chairs rules. Jay Lethal against Juan Xavier. Again, I did double duty that night. Kurt Adonis, that's right, Purdy Curdy himself, the New England Pro Wrestling Hall of Famer, against another New England Pro Wrestling Hall of Famer, and I refer to him quite a bit because he's an old friend of mine, former friends, now foes, back to friends again, and that would be the hardcore legend, Ron Zombie. So myself and the flamboyant one, Kurt Adonis, went up against Ron Zombie that night. An unbelievable bout. I did double duty that night. As you can see, that's why I was the manager, the talent, the personality that I was. I was a five-tool player that did everything. 2 matches in one night, multiple bumps. Don't ever question me. Oh, you're not a pro wrestler. He wasn't a pro wrestler. You're right. You're right. But I trained as a pro wrestler. I was a professional wrestling manager, one of the best in this damn industry. And I'm not saying it for me to hear it. I'm not even saying it for you to hear it. I'm just stating the facts. Also, Kurt Angle, the Olympic hero, was also on the same show and did an excellent, unbelievable in-ring appearance. Josh Daniels against Mikey Batts, and then for the NWA World title, Christian Cage against Samoa Joe. Now, just to show you the different talent that I've been involved with in different locker rooms and the solidity and validity of the GOC, because I like to throw it out there every now and then to keep people relevant from the old school into the new school, and to see that not only was I with the heroes, the legends from the past and the golden era, but the current big stars and the young lions that we have in this business. It was an unbelievable show that night. Fans, you can get this on DVD, Northeast Wrestling, or a Smart Mark video. This is from my own personal Chaos collection here and down at the Chaos Chronicles. An unbelievable show that night. Also, another big show. This was from December of 2006. Listen to the lineup, fans, here on the Chaos Corner, show number 16. Excuse me, fans. Again, I'm dealing with the cold, not the COVID. I got my flu shot, too. And we look at all the people on the last show from this DVD that I had shown you. Unbelievable. Jason Blade was a star. King Brian Anthony still a star. Joey Mercury, WWE, WCW. Romeo Rosselli from the Heartthrobs in the WWE. Obviously, Talia Madison, Velvet McIntyre, Velvet Sky. Okay. Velvet Sky from NWA, TNA, WCW. Unbelievable lady, a personal friend. What a talent. Married to Bully Ray now, of all people. I'd like to be a fly on the wall at that dinner table with a Bully in Velvet. Also, Frankie Arion, I believe third cousin from a fourth brother of the late, great Spiros Arion, if I'm not mistaken. Jay Lethal, the Ring of Honor heavyweight champion, doesn't get better than that. And then, of course, the first Ring of Honor ever heavyweight champion, Xavier, God rest his soul, who passed away here in 2020, which has been, again, a lousy year, as we all well know. Kurt Angle, I don't have to say it, Olympic hero, WWE, WCW, Christian Cage from Christian and Edge, Samoa Joe, currently in the WWE. Look at the stars, Mikey Batts, former WCW, Billy Kidman's cousin. Look at the talent on these shows. Again, just because I was an independent, hardcore, nomadic traveler does not mean, just because I didn't sign a contract, there's a whole underworld of the business that I always explain to people. It's not ever just the WWE and the NWA, and then WWE and WCW and AWA, and then ECW popped onto the screen, and now it's AEW. It's not just people think in the mainstream. If you're not a hardcore fan, you think it's Vince McMahon, the WWE, and you don't know anything else because you have your head up your ass. Here's another big show. On this show that night, from the Heartthrobs, WWE, Antonio Thomas against Josh Daniels, one of the most technically ground people in the industry. The Maniac Michael Sane, under my tutelage again, against the WWE Hall of Famer, you maggot, Eddies, Sergeant Slaughter. Also, another unbelievable match. I'm trying to read the graphics on here. Third generation grappler, Flying Fred Curry against Shane Valentino. Another unbelievable matchup. Now, of course, with the Currys, there was Wild Bull Curry. Back to the Texas days. Unbelievable grappler. Flying Fred Curry, who I also had a chance to interview, and I'm going to be putting that on social media. What a legend. And then there's Rocket Fred Curry. Third generation grappler, and he also has a younger brother now, fourth generation Kid Curry. You can't make it up. Three-way dance for the NEW Championship. Jay Lethal from the Ring of Honor. Xavier. And of course, right now in the WWE, the phenomenal one, AJ Styles. Also, Jeff Starr, Mikey Batts against the Now with Tina Marina. Again, we know who the Now was. One of the best tag teams here in the Northeast. Went up against Jeff Starr and Mikey Batts. Again, these are grapplers and talent and athletes that are in the independent circuit that went on for tryouts and made it to the WWE and WCW. And you see how they all came together on a lot of these huge independent pro wrestling shows. On that night, for the NWA World Tag Team Championships, Bubba Ray and Devon, Team 3D against Oman Tortuga and Diablo Santiago with yours truly, the Guardian of Chaos, the Outcast Killers in the main event. What an unbelievable night. Again, this is on Smart Mark Video. You can go out and get it. 2006, my legendary feud with the Dudley Boys, with the OCK. You can see some of the highlights here, fans. Again, double duty that night, multiple bumps. That's why I don't care who you talk about, and I respect them all because I've conferred with Jim Cornette, Captain Lou Albano, Gary Hart, Bill Alfonso, Joel Gertner, J.J. Dillon. The list goes on and on. And then you talk about folks like Fred Blassie, Bobby the Brain Heenan, the Grand Wizard, all the managers. They're Tony Rumble, the Boston bad boy, who was an unbelievable manager in the NWA. You talk about all these different managers, none of them, with all due respect, even throw in Jimmy Hart, who's still active nowadays, the mouth of the South, throw in Slick, Teddy Long. I can go on with different guys. You want to talk about handlers like Kim Chi. Let's not talk about all the TNA and the ladies from Sensational Sherry to Medusa, to Missy Hyatt, to Sunny. I get it. None of them were ever in my caliber. Not any better. Don't misunderstand me. Just different for what I brought to the table. Not Paul Bearer, not Sir Oliver Humperdinck, not Crybaby Cannon. I'll go on and I'll name every independent and professional wrestling manager in this industry, and none of them were like the 6'1", 325-pound nomadic 1%er madman, the Guardian of Chaos, Big Daddy. That's what I brought to the table. Interviews, promos, taking the bumps, get in the ring. I've been hit with more chair shots and punched in the face and taking bumps than you can imagine. That's what makes the GOC different. Put me into commentary, broadcasting, play-by-play. Talk to the companies and people and talent that I've worked for. Even at this stage, over 50 years old, being in this business, coming up on 4 decades. Okay, I've retired more times than Michael Jordan, Brett Favre, Terry Funk all put together. But make no mistake about it, as I make this show a little bit different and bounce all over, I'm not selling myself. I'm in this kind of mood. There was no one, and I fucking mean no one, that was like the Guardian of Chaos. And I'm happy with that. Again, an unbelievable matchup. Let me show you the cover here of the different shows, and we're making this a little personal about the GOC. You can see the different photos there. You see Slaughter. You see Bully Ray with a chair. Just different stuff, different shows that I wanted to share with the fans. Another great night of wrestling that was. We talked about when I was on Valley Shore Community Television, Comcast, all over the state. 168 channels? I'm not sure. I do miss being on that public platform, but having your own platform is decent. We're coming up on almost 38 minutes here. Great time. We're going to have a good time today. I know I'm bouncing around here, but I'm having a lot of fun. It's making me feel a little bit better. So I appreciate everyone out there. Another big event, all on DVD, fans. You could purchase this. Now, remember here on show number 16, live to tape, same-day coverage, Chaos Corner. I'll say that to say this because I tell it like it is. Hit the like button, subscribe, get us in the algorithm. Let's get some people out here. I want to be able to go live and have the chat. We're doing a lot of different things. We're talking reality TV shows. We were in touch with Sinclair Broadcasting. We covered that in the first 15 minutes. Everything is what it is, fans. The one thing that's a guarantee is that I'll still be here. Another unbelievable lineup here for different shows and groups that I worked with. We talked about the NAWA, PAPW, NEW, the WWA, the WWZ, NWA territories, World Wrestling Superstars, the AWA Superstars, all the different groups I've worked for. I've counted up, and Would you say, Mr. Analytics Guru, what are we up to? The last one being Paradise Alley is number 50. Different promotions and organizations that I worked for in my career. How many different championships, singles, and tag team we counted and figured out? Not accurate, not 100% accurate. 75, that can't be the right number. Different territorial titles between singles and tag teams and six-man titles and ladies division. Something we'll get the actual numbers on that, and different tag team titles and singles titles that the Guardian of Chaos managed in his group throughout those 50 different promotions. Josh Daniels against Ricky Landell. Kurt Adonis, you see some of the mainstays against the Masked Executioner number 2. That night, big homecoming for ESPN, a lot of employees there, WWE scouts, myself and the Masked Executioner. I just put it up on social media, on YouTube and on Parler, and I believe it is also on my Twitter, not over at the show, but at Big Daddy GOC. Chuck Deep and Nick Neighborhood against Sex and Violence, some very underrated tag teams in the Northeast New England corridor, up and down 95, all the way to Florida, all the way up to Canada. Chuck Deep, Nick Neighborhood, Sex and Violence, very dangerous tag teams. The Legendary from Busted Open that night, and this is what I've talked about, and this is here, fans, in 2006. Tommy Dreamer and against myself and the New England hardcore legend, managed by Jim Cornette, trained by Killer Kowalski, under the tutelage of the Boston bad boy Tony Rumble, and yours truly, legendary hardcore maniac Ron Zombie and myself against Tommy Dreamer from Busted Open Radio, WWE, NWA, the legend, who I believe should be in the Hall of Fame. This guy's been around since the 80s. I love Dreamer. I've had a chance to work with him. I didn't love him the couple of times that we were actually in the ring together, because this was a kendo stick Singapore cane match. And needless to say, it did not work out well for Zombie and myself, but it was an honor. We ran on through a program with Dreamer in a couple of different venues with these damn Singapore canes and kendo sticks. They're really Singapore canes from my era. Dreamer must have caned me about a half dozen times that one particular night. So between working with Dreamer, the Sandman, the Baldies, Ron Zombie, there's a couple of people I'm missing. I must have been kendo sticked by about a half dozen different people. Jason fucking Knight, let's not forget him, when he was with the Prada Jet and Jazz. Unbelievable grapplers, female ladies. Jazz just retired. I love Jazz. God bless. I bet you I've been kendo sticked and caned, even in the TV studios, about, I don't know, 40 or 50 times. And you wonder why I'm a little off. 6 concussions, 3 shoulder surgeries. I've been stabbed, gun to the head. What more do you want from the GOC in his life? This is reality. And that's why I'm hoping that show's picked up. But that's neither here nor there, because every time I say it, it doesn't happen. So what a night that was. Again, Xavier, a guy that I traveled with many times, and God rest his soul, John Xavier. It brings tears to my eyes. That night against the Motor City Machine Gun himself, Chris Sabin, Simon Dean from WWE and ECW fame against the legendary Memphis King, Hall of Famer, Jerry King Lawler, and then again for the NWA World Tag Team title, the World Heavyweight title, my bad, Bully Ray, Christian Cage against WCW WWE star Billy Kidman. So just look at the different shows and all the stuff that we have here on footage. That was an unbelievable night, and that's when we were doing a lot of work with the NWA. You see all the wrestlers on here, not only top-notch independent grapplers in their own right, but all went on to WCW, ECW, WWE, or were already working for those companies, and even now in AEW. So I'll show you the cover. We'll get it out there. Some beautiful, beautiful stuff. Another guy I enjoyed working with, and I hope we get to that DVD, is the Monster Abyss. He was a great guy. I did kind of kayfabe him one time, though. but it took about 15, 20 years. I took a beautiful photo with me and an Abyss, myself and Abyss that night. It was myself and I believe it was the Maniac, Michael Sane, against Abyss in a first blood match, and Sane got busted open the hard way, but I gigged. Abyss got busted open the hard way. So we're in the hotel that night. I think we were in the city, and we took a beautiful picture. He was huge. He looked, I might even have it. He looked like Andre the Giant. What a great guy, Chris Park. And we were both had, you could see the juice and the blade marks on myself. Unbelievable picture. But those are the guys that I ran with and that we worked with, and that I'm so honored and humbled to have been a part with. And for them to have agreed to let me work with them is unbelievable. Here's another excellent card. This was from 2007. This was the series. Again, 2 nights, 2 cities, 2 main events. And this is when we were running the program with the Dudley Boys for the NWA World Tag Team titles with Tortuga and Santiago, and I was so privileged and honored to be a part of that. I know I joke about it all the time, and Samoa Joe, AJ Styles was also on this show in one of the main events. I worked against the Logan brothers, who went on to, right now, are still currently working active all over the country. Myself and the Outcast Killers against the Logan brothers in night 1. Mikey Batts, Josh Daniels, and Jason Blade, 3 incredible technical grapplers. Again, the Maniac Michael Sane against Ron Zombie, a double duty night for myself. That was a first blood match the first night, and Zombie got busted open the hard way. He poured with blood that night. And again, we were friends, allies, and foes, and back to homeboys now. Brian Anthony, the King Brian Anthony, who's huge in Northeast Wrestling, against another guy who's been in my corner for years and inducted me, as I said, Kurt Adonis, and a mainstay in the independents for such a legend, his longevity, and that's why I respect him so much, no matter what people say about him. Jerry the King Lawler against Romeo Rosselli from the Heartthrobs, a guy you could wash your underwear on his abs. I was just talking to him. He also was inducted into the class of 2019 New England Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame with yours truly and his partner, Antonio Thomas, the Heartthrobs, along with, like I said in the last show, J.J. Dillon was there. Bill Apter was inducted. Gary Michael Capetta, a whole bunch of the Mistress Belmont, my good friend Jeff Katz. There were so many people that were inducted into that class. And if you go out to All Access Entertainment, I've said it before, you can see all these stars. Honky Tonk and Valentine had their show, Rhythm and Blues comedy show. The famous, that's right, Samoan Dynasty was there. I mean, the Four Horsemen. It was an unbelievable event. So on that night, Jerry the King Lawler against Romeo Rosselli with Velvet Sky, who was then Talia Madison, and the special guest referee from ESPN fame, the WWE, the coach, Jonathan Coachman. Samoa Joe, AJ Styles was the main event. Again, what a card. The NEW Championship, this was the nights I was working. I worked for 10 years for Northeast. Xavier against Joey Mercury. Unbelievable that night for the Heavyweight Championship. We go on to night 2. We went out to a hotbed, and that was in Newburgh, New York. Hale Collins against Mikey Batts. Hale from the Now against Mikey Batts. WCW, WWE, Billy Kidman's cousin. I said it already. I know, I get it. You'll notice that I repeat a lot. That's part of the gimmick. And then there was my boy, and again, he's still current now. Why he never signed with WWE, I respect his loyalty, but I'll never know why. It's neither here nor there. Black Machismo. Jay Lethal against, from the Heartthrobs, Romeo Rosselli with Talia Madison, Velvet Sky. This is a night that I was talking about, double duty, the Maniac Michael Sane and yours truly against the Monster Abyss, Chris Park. What an unbelievable night. It's a night I will not forget. Again, everybody bled. I get it. It wasn't that long ago. What's the year on it? 2007. Cheech and Cloudy, and from the Baldies, Tony DeVito, tough Tony DeVito, against Brian Anthony, Kurt Adonis, and Fred Curry. An unbelievable 6-man tag team matchup. Cheech and Cloudy were fantastic out of the New York area. Obviously, we know tough Tony DeVito, the King Brian Anthony, Purdy Curdy, and third generation Fred Curry. Xavier against Josh Daniels. Again, see the circuit and the names and the stars. Joey Mercury and the coach, Jonathan Coachman, against Jerry the King Lawler, and, whatever puppies he happened to be with the flavor of the month. No disrespect, King. I love you. He was with Queen Renee. And then in the tables match, again, it's on video. It's well known. It's viral on social media. The Outcast Killers and the GOC Big Daddy against Bubba and Devon, Team 3D. You can see it on my YouTube channel, this channel, or on my Twitter channel, this channel. And just to be able to work with those guys and to see where they went in their career and where they were at that time. Let's think. They were in ECW 93, 94, 95. They were 96, even into the late 90s. Then they had their WWE run, WCW. They went to Japan. This was in 2007. So in the middle of their career. So again, I'll show you the cover. 2 nights. It was really incredible. All the different stars. We're coming up on almost an hour, fans, but I'm having a good time with this impromptu. We'll go through the rest of these if we go over an hour. I might have covered a few of these in show 14. 2006, summer of 2006. Again, these are on a lot of home video, a lot of RF video, Feinstein, some really good stuff. Damian Adams against Josh Daniels. Cheech and Cloudy against the OCK. Xavier against Chris Sabin. Another night, I believe we did cover this. Ricky Landell, third cousin from Buddy, I believe, against Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Ho! Where I took that damn 2x4 and the local DJ cattle prodded me. I'm telling you, it happened. So we did cover this. The same night was Abyss and Christian Cage for the world title. The Heartthrobs, Romeo Rosselli against Jerry the King Lawler. I believe we did cover this. The next night, Executioner 2 and Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Yours truly. DeVito, Ron Zombie, and ECW champion Justin Credible. Justin Credible. Wait. She fell. No, come on. Not the wife. Not the wife to fall. Gotta keep it clean here. It's a mold that I made of the wife myself. Really, God broke the mold when they created my wife. This is the mold of my wife. So I put it down here for the show. So don't get offended, female audience. It's a mold of my wife. So we keep it here in her honor. She's upstairs. Let's see if it falls. Again, you see it, fans. So I'm not being disrespectful. Those are my feathers, though. Woo, you can't make it up. DeVito from the Baldies, Ron Zombie, and Justin Credible. Unbelievable 3-way that night. Special guest referee Tommy Dreamer for Abyss against Chris Sabin. The Heartthrobs against Sex and Violence. And then for the first time ever, again, this is 2006, 2007, AJ Styles against Christian Cage for the NWA World Championship title. Again, fans, that's what I said. I never signed a contract. I'll refer to these shows, and I didn't travel 200 or 300 days out of the year on the road. I had a full-time job. I had a family. I had commitments. I was 25 years behind the walls. That was my bread and butter, but this was my love and my passion. And so as an independent, hardcore man, I didn't travel your, 25 out of 30 days through the month, but I was on the road. It wasn't my full-time living where that was my only salary. I was on the road, probably average, Guru, break open, probably average on a slow month, 4 or 5 bookings, and on a good month, probably 8 bookings, maybe 9. So, sometimes I think there was a few times, too, where I was on the 10, maybe a dozen is the record for bookings in 1 month throughout all my career, but on average. So you see the difference between an independent, maybe 100 days out of the year. Unbelievable, fans, as I showed you here on the different events and stuff that we've talked about. Here was another incredible night. I believe we covered this. Again, AJ Styles and Abyss, Chris Sabin and Christian Cage. The Guardian of Chaos with the Killers against the Now, Kevin Nash. Another incredible event. Another one we have here from 2007. As you can see, Samoa Joe is on the cover. I was pretty tight with Joe. We spent a couple of nights in the parking lots with the boys, tossing a few back and having a good time. He's an unbelievable guy, pure down to earth, tough son of a bitch, and it's great to see that Joe is transitioning since his injuries and being in the WWE. It took a long time. He deserved it much earlier in his career because he's such a great talent. But to see Joe now, he reminds me of Taz. And I think if he is no longer active in his career in ring, which will be legendary Hall of Famer, I think he'll be an unbelievable play-by-play color guy as far as broadcasting with the WWE or any company. So I'm glad, and I had a chance, to work with Joe a couple of times. And somebody approached me as a personal story in connection to this. Somebody approached me and said, "Hey, Big Daddy Joe wants to talk to you." And I said, "I don't know why Joe would want to talk to me at that point." And always had no conversations. So I saw him later on that night outside in the parking lot with a bunch of guys, and somebody was burning a blunt. I'll be honest, here it is what it is. I took a couple pokes off it. Somebody was burning a blunt, and then Joe came over and I called him off. I said, "Joe, can I talk to you for a second, man?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "What's up, Big Daddy?" I said, "Dude, I don't have any heat with you. You don't have a problem with me, anything like that, do you?" He said, "No." He said, what would make you say that?" I said, "Why?" I said, "It's not worth it, Joe. It's not worth getting into it. I just wanted to ask you. I'd rather come to you and keep it away from the boys in the locker room." But one of the boys came up to me and said that I had heat with you over something, whatever. He said, "Absolutely not. If I did," he said, "obviously I would let you know about it." And I said, "Well, that's what I thought, and that's why I'm coming to you." So it was, no harm, no foul. The dude ended up being full of shit. Why he would say that. And we went back and took a couple pokes, and it is what it is. And it goes to show you about this business and why you heard me address the first 15 minutes about the BS and the politics and people not being a man of their word and going to the horse's mouth. And this is what this business is all about. And I've always said it. I said it in my Hall of Fame speech. I said it in a shoot interview as my real person character, which is rare with the Guardian of Chaos, Big Daddy, on any social media. When people ask me what I like and what I don't like about the business, what I love, what I don't love, that's what I don't like about the business. Is all the bullshit and the games and the good old boys network and connections, and not necessarily on talent and behind your back and kayfabe and other people, not in the good kayfabe way, which I believe the business should be. There's a lot of bullshit that goes on out there. People are supposed to call you brother, they call you friend, and take it with a grain of salt. You'll find out in the end who is and who isn't. Another great show here. These are all shows that weren't too long ago. Near the end of my career, we can go back to the 90s and early 2000s and all the tape. But I like to cover the stuff. Most of that stuff's on VHS. I was fortunate enough that DVD came around at the end of my career. Again, Romeo Rosselli against Jason Blade. Velvet Sky, Talia Madison, and Short Sleeve Samson against Kurt Adonis and Ariel. Short Sleeve Samson, one of the most incredible midget wrestlers in the history of professional wrestling. Not only is he jacked and buff, he does the worm. I had an opportunity one time at Yale Bowl, the infamous Yale Bowl, where Babe Ruth played and Lou Gehrig and Ronald Reagan and the infamous Ron Darling and Frankie V match in 1981. History walking on the field of Yale Bowl. The Guardian of Chaos performed there one night in a handicap match for an independent group, a big-time independent group, though. And it was a 2-on-1 handicap match on Thirsty Thursday. And I went out and I gave a speech in between the innings, like the third or fourth inning of the game there. And again, just to be on the ground where Ronald Reagan, George Bush, Babe Ruth, different people made their speeches and announcements, and where that Darling and Frankie V game was in 1981, which is, I'm such a big Mets fan and historical baseball fan, to be on that hallowed grounds as my character and give that speech. And then later on, it was yours truly in a 2-on-1 match, two midgets against Big Daddy. It was Short Sleeve Samson and Lil Killa. I don't think it was Half Nelson. Get it? Half Nelson, not full Nelson. It was Short Sleeve Samson and Lil Killa against the Guardian of Chaos at Yale Bowl and Thirsty Thursday at 2-on-1. They set up their ring right outside the field. It was an unbelievable night. A lot of my family and friends were able to be there. And the most impressive thing was seeing this 330-pound guy get double whipped by the midgets into the corner. And they ran across the ring on each other's shoulder and splashed me. I fell down. Short Sleeve Samson did his worm, boom, 1, 2, 3, the elbow drop, and the both of them jumped on me for the pin. And during the match, I'm outside the ring. They threw me outside the ring for whatever reason. It really was comical. On the top rope, jumped, and I was going to splash me. I caught him, threw him in the ring. Little Killer jumped. I caught him, threw him in the ring. The short sleeve Samson on top, caught him, threw him in the ring, and we went through with that whole gimmick and the whole play like 3 or 4 times, and all the fans buzzed, drunk, whatever you want to call it. The pop was unbelievable. So the connection there for the Yale Bowl and the incredible history, it really was something. To Short Sleeve Samson's incredible performer. He still may be out there active today. So that was an incredible intergender match. Jerry King Lawler also gave an unbelievable interview. Maniac Michael Sane against third generation Fred Curry Jr., Jay Lethal, Ring of Honor against Josh Daniels, Ron Zombie, again, that familiar name, against the Texas Outlaw for the NEW title, Xavier against Samoa Joe, Sex and Violence, of course, the tag team under my tutelage. That night we went up against 2 Hall of Famers, Jerry King Lawler and Jim the Anvil Neidhart. What a match. Sex and Violence were 2 big guys. It was Jeff Starr and Dave Danger. Jeff Starr was in incredible shape. The women loved him. Blonde hair, all-American, abs to his eyebrows. And then Dave Danger was just 6'5", 330-pounder, and then put in the most notorious manager against Lawler. And then, of course, the Anvil, who is no one to be trifled with. That's where I hooked up with Neidhart later on that night. And after the match, we're icing down and got to hang out at the hotel and have a little dinner. You have a couple of cocktails, listening to Jerry Lawler, who never had a drink and certainly wanted separate tabs. I love you, King. I love you. That's where one of the shows I got to hook up with the Anvil and get to know him personally and hang out afterwards with the boys. And we got close enough to where we talked about Owen Hart and Bret Hart, and we were able to hook up and connect, and Anvil would speak to the promoter, where it led to another bout where I got to manage Anvil and Julio Fantastico, an incredible star, against 2 more legends, the late, great Yokozuna from the Samoan Dynasty, who I've been very close with for 40 years, and then, of course, current active even now today, whether it's DDP or AEW with the Murder Hawk, and that's Jake the Snake Roberts. That legendary night where he threw the snake on me and I took the 600-pound leg drop from Yokozuna. That is because of this. It's not just about talent. Yes, you have to have talent. And I say this all the time, but you have to know how to conduct yourself, when to talk, when not to talk, when to shut up, when to listen, when to take that risk, when to speak up. And it's all about social networking and contacts. And you'll find that you'll get yourself, as long as people are men of their word, you'll get yourself a chance and an opportunity that way. And then when you get a chance to prove yourself, you have to have the talent. When you get put on the spot and you get called to the carpet, now it's your turn, you have to perform. But a lot of times that's not enough, and people in this business know that. And it's all about connections and who you know, and that's the shitty part of the business. So I'm just keeping it real here like I have from the beginning. You can see that I'm not feeling the greatest, but this is what I do, and I feel better now that I've come here for show number 16 of Chaos Corner on YouTube, to be able to connect with the fans and to be able to put out the product that I love and have passion for, and I'm still living, and something that brings a nice distraction. It doesn't get any better than this, to pay homage to those who came before me and then those that are still in the business, and the difference of the different things, and cover the big time and the mainstream and the current trending topics, and then to give you the personal touch of me, the Guardian of Chaos, my character, my gimmick, what I'm trying to do, and the connection between us here and why you would come to my channel. When I make it personal and give you the connection of me and let you get to know me. A lot of people are faceless icons or put out false things out there, and I know I wear the gimmick and stuff like that, but you can see that I'm real. And I tell it like it is, and what you see is what you get. And that's the personal connection on my show. We're over an hour here. I don't want to continue to ramble on. Again, this was, I'm doing this 2-3 times a week. I won't take too many days off. I have a tight schedule. But this is the brand. This is where I am. You will not find me anywhere else. You're not going to find me with Dino Costa, Patrick Ryan. You're not going to find me on the Yes Network. You're not going to find me at Sinclair. You're not going to find me at the NAWA. You're not going to find me at PAPW. But I'm going to be around, and I still put people over. If you've been in my life and been loyal to me and been good to me, and you're a man of your word, whether I see you, don't see you, whether we're on the ins or the outs, friends, foes, or allies, I'll always put people over. That's what I do. That's what I do best. It's never about me. I'm having fun. I'm here to put you over. And in turn, I get to have the fun to put myself over. That's just the icing on the cake. But I'm here to give back. This is my motivation, my inspiration, my positivity. You have to understand that. It's all about living and dreaming and believing, being the best who you are, putting your best foot forward, and walking in the glow of who you are. Always remember that. Thank you for being here. Follow me on all social media platforms. It was one hell of a show on show number 16. Come back, like, subscribe, go back and check out all the different videos. I've just recently put up some classic videos with every one of these legends and heroes from all the big organizations that you're going to see on my YouTube channel. I can't thank you enough. I am the guardian of chaos. I do tell it like it is. I'll say that to say this. Don't you dare miss it. Happy Thanksgiving. Let's all be thankful for what we have, not what we don't have. I'll see you in a couple of days. Don't forget, you can email me, chaosbigdaddy2 at yahoo.com. You can inbox me on Twitter or the boys at the show. Reach out to me on all social media platforms. I will. What's going on here? You know what it is? I know what it is. Got to take a break here. We're an hour and 5 minutes in. What the hell's going on? So you didn't tell me? How could you guys out there? That's like somebody having a booger in their nose, and you're talking to them and having a conversation, and you don't say anything. Are you one of those people? Are you one of those people that you're talking to someone and it's a friend or a coworker, and they'll have something in their teeth or up their nose, and you won't say anything, and you'll just continue to let them talk? Well, I'm not one of those people. Yeah, I'm that guy. If you're talking to me and you got some big old goober or snot or a booger in your nose or something on your lip or an ear here hanging out or a nose here that you can braid, or you got something in your teeth, male, female, old, young, you can damn sure bet that I'm going to say something to you. And I'm not going to go like this. I'm going to say, dude, miss, what's that on your nose? Don't you dare miss it. Show number 16. Happy Thanksgiving. I'll be back in a couple of days.